Hello, I'm Gus Downing, publisher and editor of the D&D Daily, and this is the LP News Network. We're here today with Joan Manson, VP, Employee Resources, Asset Protection and Legal at the Container Store. Joan led a session here at Protect entitled Handling Sexual Harassment, a Fresh Perspective. The session description was in the wake of widespread revelations of misconduct in workplaces. People from all types of industries have begun sharing their stories of harassment and abuse. Refusing to bury their heads in the sand, retail LP executives recognize that old school, not in my wheelhouse thinking won't fly. It's time to act with integrity and transparency, embracing authenticity and committing to changes in organizational culture. LP and human resource professionals need to bring their distinctive skills to the table, cultivating a collaborative, productive, and high-trust relationship. The session's objectives today were to learn how to embrace authenticity on the path to open communications, hone methods of developing and cultivating collaborative relationships, and recognize the value of cultivating a partnership between LP and HR and how such a partnership can open an important dialogue. Joan, thanks for being here today.
Well, thank you, Gus, for having me.
There you go. Now, in our conversation we had about this, you had shared a hypothetical case study that you'd used as an example of how authenticity, open communications, and collaborations is so important in how LP can play an important role during this time. Can you walk us through that?
Yes, absolutely. The presentation was with Super Value stores, and their employment lawyer, as well as he's responsible for legal and loss prevention, which is interesting, and a few other things, Andre Lemaire, and then Kelly Brandis, their director of loss prevention. And they put together a dynamite session, I thought, and it was really bringing to the forefront the need to absolutely, we have to collaborate. We cannot continue to just focus on loss prevention. You know, if you have a loss, investigate the loss. We can't just do that anymore. We have to be responsible for everything. And as this investigation continues, more things come up. You know, in a typical investigation, that happens, right? Well, this one had several little twists and turns where there's a very large loss. And then you find out that the female who was responsible for the store at the time had left the store to go talk to another coworker. That seems a little odd, but then you find out, well, they'd been out the night before. And then you find out they had been drinking the night before. And then you find out, as time goes on, she wants to file a complaint for harassment, and she wants the police call. So it keeps turning and twisting, and loss prevention, if we thought, I'm only responsible for that $10,000 loss, and I'm going to refer everything else to HR, we're missing a prime opportunity to assist our other business partners within HR. And we have to have that knowledge and understand, have that open-minded perception to know when I need to partner with HR, when I can support the HR efforts, and that's what's right for the business. You know, isn't that really what we're supposed to be doing? We can't have that tunnel vision. We have to be thinking, I'm responsible for the entire company when something like that happens. And how do I do that? And who do I partner with?
Right. You know, in the session description, it talks to how LP has to shed old school, not in my wheelhouse thinking, and that it's time to act with integrity and transparency, embracing authenticity and committing to changes. I mean, those are powerful words that really raise the bar and change the expectations. I mean, can you talk to us about what that means to a field LP executive?
Of course. I think for the field LP executive, to have a long-term career within that retail organization, or any for that matter, you're responsible for your role, but you're responsible for everything. You have to build those relationships, whether it's with your regional or district HR team. If you are within the corporate headquarters, maybe you get exposure to that legal department. You're going to need to do that too. But you also have to be able to present yourself, know the facts, make certain you've thoroughly vetted everything so that when you're presenting to them, when they're asking you questions, you've got it documented, you've looked at everything, eyes wide open. Important session today was the art of perception, and that's absolutely approaching things with a fresh perspective. So I think when those words, integrity, it's the integrity of that investigation. How well did you handle that interview? Did you get the documents in a, all in a line and ready to be presented? As there's twists and turns, are you ignoring them, or do you realize the magnitude of what some simple comment can make? Do you dig in a little further? That's what you want to be doing. You want to take this as a whole brain perspective. Everything's included, and all your partners have to be included. You're going to make a much better decision for the lives of those employees down the road.
Obviously one of the key points here is cultivating and that partnership with HR and having an open dialogue. Can you talk to that and give some guidance on how to do it and the importance of how LP is perceived by HR that is really the key here, and the role that perception plays there?
Well, perception's everything within your career, and in loss prevention we probably have it more difficulty with that. Most people think, oh, you're just out to get them, right? And that's why for years we've heard of this dichotomy with HR, right? You either, they love you or they hate you, and then when you want to let, you have an investigation or somebody they adore, it can be really challenging. But if you've developed that relationship and you have that integrity, then they know you only have facts that you're bringing and your expertise, that's going to cultivate that relationship. I think what's also important is loss prevention traditionally has said, okay, I'm only going to investigate the loss. And today in our session was just, we did a vote and we asked, hands up, who all has helped conduct an investigation into sexual harassment? The majority of the room said they had. I was astounded. I think you probably are too, right?
Yeah.
That we are making that progress. I've had 2 women come up to me since the session saying they're working on their their professional licensing certification for human resources, and they've been in loss prevention their entire careers. That's a great trend,
Yeah, it is.
I see.
Yeah, it is.
And one of the things Andre mentioned in our session was that he likes to hire loss prevention. Of course, you have loss prevention, but move them into HR for a couple of years and then bring them back out. I think that's a pretty good idea for anyone in loss prevention. If you really want to build those relationships within HR, go work for them for a while. It's kind of the old thing, walk a mile in my shoes.
Yeah.
They'll understand you a lot better and you'll understand them.
Oh, absolutely.
So I thought the session was really terrific in getting that message across, but also how we have to kind of be nimble and go with what we know what's right. That's what our role's always been, and we have to have that, the ability to observe it and know when we have to take those opportunities and do what's right for our company.
Right. Yeah. The LP magazine did an article on a women in LP survey.
Yes.
Can you speak to that a little bit? Or?
Well, thank you. I'd love to. Actually, I have a copy right here. It's on the Loss Prevention magazine, this current edition, and they did a survey. Jack Britton led this effort. Over 500 women were surveyed. There is, in the beginning of the results, you're like, gosh, things have really changed. It's really wonderful. And then as you get closer to the end, you're like, okay, well, some of the things have not changed. We still have lots of opportunity, but I find it just very, it's just such a wonderful, opportune time for women in this career field to help move things along more so than it ever has. And I think with the NRF, so they're supporting the women in loss prevention with our luncheon today, and there's going to be some new programs that they're supporting women so that we can talk to each other. Anyone within the committee can, we'll have a listserv. They're looking at the quarterly professional development calls and bringing those back. So we're really excited. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think keeping the survey top of mind, I would love to see something like this done every couple of years. I'm not a survey expert, but maybe it's every year. But whatever that magic number is, I would like to see it, to see how we see that progression, how we see that change. I don't want women to think that, and 72% said, that it's still a kind of a good old boys club. I hate hearing that, and that needs to change. And then maybe that's a false perception, I'm not sure. when you look around the audience, but I think it's time, and we have a great opportunity to seize it, to get more women out there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we
Yeah, you
do.
Thanks for taking the time today, Joan.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Gus. Oh, wait. Can I say one more thing?
Please.
I would love to. So, everyone, this is my commercial break, Gus. You know, Gus Downing has done so much. I'm sorry, I just have to do this. Gus has done so many things for all of us in loss prevention, and he reached out to me shortly after the Me Too movement,
Yep.
and thank you for that, to make certain loss prevention's voice was heard from the female perspective. And then even with this, and saying, you know, yes, the survey, share that with the group, as well as our session today and our luncheon, and I just really appreciate it, and I don't think you get enough kudos
Thank you.
for all you do, so go Gus.
Thank you, Joan.
You're welcome.
I didn't arrange that. Okay? Well, that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank you for watching. And until next time, let's keep them all safe out there.